All right, y'all boys. This for all my people who hit the ganja or smoke the marijuana. This video's for y'all, so let's see what they talking about.
You're driving home from work. You haven't done anything wrong. But out of nowhere, a patrol car signals you to pull over. You see the flashing lights, your heart rate spikes, your mind begins to race. You expect the cop to walk up to your window and say something about you maybe speeding or maybe you didn't use your turn signal. But instead, the cop walks up, knocks on your window, you roll the window down, and the first thing he does is lean in and go, "Smells like marijuana." What do you say? What should you do? Is there something you can do to protect yourself, and can you stop the cops from pulling this on you? Most people freeze. They panic. And in the moment of panic, they either say the wrong thing or they do the wrong thing. That leads an officer to believe, you just gave me consent. And just like that, your Fourth Amendment rights vanish. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what to say and what to do if you ever find yourself in this moment.
Okay.
From traffic stops to knock and talks to cops walking right up to you claiming they smell weed. I'm going to walk you through the exact phrases to say, the tricks and the traps cops will use in this situation, and the exact steps you can take to protect yourself and stand up for your rights. Let's start at the core of our constitutional rights. The Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution says, and I quote, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated."
Right.
But what does that actually mean in real life? That means a cop can't just rummage through your pockets, your car, your home, or your property without a good reason. That reason is known legally as probable cause. But there are layers to this. Probable cause, that means an officer has enough clear facts in front of him to lead someone to reasonably believe that a crime is being committed. Think of probable cause as if you were to walk into your house, see smoke coming out of your kitchen,
We know what
have to
probable cause is.
temporarily detain you to see if maybe your behavior, something about you they don't like, they think they can add up to probable cause. Speaking of fishing for probable cause, this brings us to probably one of the most abused statements by police officers out in the field during traffic stops. When cops use the smell test, they claim, "I smell marijuana." This phrase has been used for decades as a key to get into your car because they claim smell equals probable cause. And it's true. That's exactly how that has worked until recently. So now I want to break down specifically how should you analyze this situation if a cop walks up to you and claims they can search your vehicle because they claim they smell marijuana.
What changed recently? Was there a law that? Was there a law that? Was there a law that was put in that changed now? New law and court ruling in Florida have altered the odor alone doctrine regarding marijuana and probable cause for searches. No longer enough. The smell of marijuana alone is no longer considered a sufficient probable cause for the search of a vehicle. This shifts the attribute. This shifts the attribute. Blah, 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 blah. Odor plus. Okay. Okay.
I'm giving
good
you
information
three
to know.
big questions you need to ask. You can do the analysis here to determine what sort of situation you're in and exactly what to say if a cop walks up to you. So number one, is marijuana legal in your state? If it's currently legal,
Recreational marijuana is not legal, but medical marijuana is legal.
it is very unlikely that police are going to be able to use the smell of burnt or fresh, yeah, there's a difference, burnt or fresh marijuana as a basis to establish probable cause to search your car. And I'll cover some specific examples of states and how they see this here in a minute. But if marijuana is illegal, states like Texas, now there's a much higher probability courts are going to enforce and claim that cops say that when they smell supposedly marijuana, it can be used as probable cause to search your vehicle. For example, in Texas, under current law, it is still a misdemeanor crime subject to a potential arrest if you have any usable amount of marijuana. So if that's your state, if that's your situation, be aware cops are going to use this trick on you over and over again. Question number 2. Is the cop, when he pulls you over and starts asking you, saying, "Do you smell that? I think I smell marijuana," does he claim it's burnt, the burnt odor of marijuana, or the fresh smell of marijuana? You say, "Jeff, why does it matter if there's a difference?" Well, let me tell you, the smell of burnt odor of marijuana is a big difference. Because if they're claiming it's burnt marijuana smell, now it's much more difficult for the police officer to tie a burnt odor smell to the actual car. Because someone could have smoked the marijuana from another location and it carried over residually. You could have just been around someone else who has smoked marijuana and now you have this odor about you, but it may not have anything to do with the vehicle. The reality is this: I've rented rental cars that the moment I got into the car, it immediately reeked of marijuana, the burnt odor of marijuana. So the burnt odor of marijuana can linger for days, and in reality, it has very little to do with any potential illegal possession of marijuana. But now, what about cops claiming they smell the odor of fresh marijuana in the car? Now, not that I'm a marijuana expert, but I can tell you this: there's a very distinct difference between the odor of fresh marijuana and maybe stuff that had just recently been cut. You've got seeds and stems, all that's there, and the actual burnt odor of marijuana. If they claim it's fresh odor of marijuana, quite a bit different situation, because now that is usually, courts have ruled, that would be much more easily tied to the use and the possession of.
This is the thing, though. What you supposed to let's say the cops say, "Hey, it smells like marijuana in this car." You supposed to be like, "Does it smell like fresh marijuana or burnt?" Like, I'm supposed to ask them that. That kind of don't make sense to me. And even if they say it smells like fresh marijuana, how are you gonna prove your point that, let's say you did smoke in the car? How are you gonna prove your point that it's burnt marijuana? You know, see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they police. They can do what they want. So it's kind of like, I don't know.
But within the vehicle itself. But watch out for this trick. Cops, the good ones, know this. They know that they'll look at it and say, "I'm not sure exactly what I want to say here, so let me see if I can get the driver to admit to it." They'll walk up and they'll say, "You smell that? What does that smell like to you?" And sometimes people, in a moment of hoping that the cop will work with them and maybe he's going to, just cut them loose because it's marijuana, they'll say, "Yeah, man, I know, it's marijuana." So they'll want you to admit that it smells like burnt marijuana or that it smells like fresh
Well, that's
marijuana.
number one, though. You never give unnecessary information to police. Even if you smoked in the car and they'd be like, "Yo, what's that smell?" You say, "What smell?" You never give them something for them to use against you. Like, that's number one rule.
So now it makes it much easier on the officer because they don't have to prove it. They now have your confession to it. Question number 3. If cops now claim they have probable cause to search your car because of the smell of marijuana, does that now allow them to extend that probable cause to search everyone else in the car? This brings us to the very important 1948 Supreme Court case of that container, the driver, not the passengers. So they're going to have to come up with separate, independent probable cause to do anything to anyone else in that car. But let me give you the cop playbook here. The first thing they'll do if they smell marijuana is they'll say they now have probable cause for the driver. So they'll get the driver out of the car and they'll start to talk to the driver to see if they can find anything from him to establish probable cause for the actual passengers. And then another cop will go and talk to the passengers to try to see if they can get them to admit to anything either about the driver or anything else they may know about inside the car. But this is really important. Cops cannot do anything. If everyone exercises their constitutional rights and closes their mouth, there's 2 big problems here. Number 1, there's no separate independent probable cause for any of the other passengers unless someone talks. But secondly, remember, it must be proven that someone exercised care, custody, or control over these so-called drugs. And if there are drugs found in between multiple people within a vehicle, it makes it very difficult to prove intent. You have to know the drugs are there in order for the officer to actually be able to say.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm not really. He's giving good information, but I'm not really messing with this video because a scenario like that. Let's say everybody says, "Bro, we not gonna say nothing." Cops asking y'all, "Hey, did y'all smoke tonight? Hey, do y'all got anything on you?" And you just sitting there like this in the car. You know what that's gonna do to them? It's gonna piss them off. And you know what they gonna do? Break your basic human rights and laws that they know that they could get away with. They're going to take you out the car. They're going to tell everybody, get out the car, especially if you black. If you black, they're going to tell everybody, get out the car. They're going to try to detain you, do whatever they want to do, and basically do what they want, like no cap. Like, what he's saying is not wrong. I'm pretty sure it's not wrong. But we got to understand who we are at times. Like, some laws that apply to other people don't apply to everybody else, and that's just the sad truth. So, like I said, what he's saying is not wrong. I'm happy he's giving out this new information because I really didn't even know that this is a new thing. As you can see, it says new law and court ruling in Florida have altered the odor. When did this even come out? See April 14th right here. So I mean, like, it's good to know for sure, but it's just like, can't really bank on it too much. So we're gonna get into some more videos. That was some good information to now know. But yeah, man, let's get into some more videos here.